doing the AFC East, yeah? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
The Patriots and all that jazz. All right. So, yeah, folks.
You picked the least
as usual,
exciting team to indicate all that jazz, by the way.
hey, we're doing the AFC fucking East Coast. We're doing the East Coast.
You better lock that
Little
accent
Florida.
in. I expected the entire episode. That's too good.
When I get down to Florida, maybe we'll change it a little bit. But there's Cubans down in Florida too. There's some mobsters down there in Florida.
Anyway. Off the rails.
All right. So
unbelievable.
Hey, dude, we opened up Guns Blazing.
Jesus, right? How high did you get before you started this podcast?
I didn't get high at all, man. I've been in the sun baking all day. That kind of bacon, not actual bacon. I'll do some actual bacon later. You know what I'm saying?
I was sitting in the sun too. It was real nice. Middle of the yard.
I was showing
a fat joint.
Oh, it was pretty fat.
Hey, guy. Oh, man, I miss those days out in Oregon. 70, 80 degrees. Sun's out in summer. It's beautiful.
Perfect.
But hey, anyway, where should we start? The way we did it last time. The way we did it last time was the division or the team that we think was going to be last place. And I think it's the Patriots.
I do too.
Right? I mean, worst team
here's
in the division
here's the thing. They're not going to get last because of some weird, stupid bullshit Belichick stuff. You're right. Yeah. But they are the one team that cannot win that division. How about that?
They're not going to win it. No. They're definitely not going to beat the Bills. There's no way.
They're the only team that cannot win that division. Is that fair to say?
Unless they get 6 games against their divisional opponents where, there's some type of snow, blizzard, hurricane that hits Miami. And then for half the game, Miami still tries to throw the ball.
Tua might miss a lot of time if he gets hit in the freaking head again. They could definitely come in last place just because of that situation.
Aaron Rodgers should have went to Miami.
He would have had it. Well, I think I think either one would have been happy.
That would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah, man.
That would have been ridiculous.
That would have been awesome.
An Aaron Rodgers fan if
Reek and Waddle and all that. But so let's talk about the Pats a little bit, right?
Let's talk about the Pats. The last place Pats.
I know it's kind of crazy.
It's got a ring to it, doesn't it, Pat?
How the turntables have turned.
So it was Tom Brady the whole time, wasn't it?
I mean, clearly, right? But also they have not had the same level of talent necessarily that they had on those defenses, that they had on the offense too. I mean, you don't have Gronk, Hall of Fame tight end, with or without Brady, right? I mean, of course, his connection with Brady puts him over the top, but Gronk's physical abilities, he could have played for somebody else, and he still would have been a top 5 tight end.
I did recently watch a Gronk highlight video on accident, because it just kind of came my way. And then, you don't look away once you see him start doing it.
No.
It's too good.
I mean, just the ability, he was impossible to tackle. There was years where he was impossible to tackle. It took really 3 full-size NFL players to bring that guy down. He was running over people left and right. You couldn't, he would box people out, the seam route down the field. He figured it out with Brady. They had a mind meld. He would find the space. It was on another level. But Gronk's not there. Brady's not there. It's Mac Jones. What do we think about Mac Jones? Is he going to be better this year?
Well, he's going to have an opportunity to show whether it was really Matt Patricia's fault. So, I'll be interested to see what their offense looks like, because they're at best a middle of the road team, and you want to give them the bonus with Bill Belichick being on the line. But if I was a Pats fan, I would be I'd be bummed that it's not the Tom Brady and Gronkowski days for sure.
Right.
But I don't know, you get to go see if your quarterback can be a franchise quarterback, a la Kirk Cousins, a la Dak Prescott right now, because he's not Joe Burrow and he's not Josh Allen.
No.
But you get to go see what he's.
And most of the reports that I've seen lately are talking about the Patriots maybe being the odds-on favorite for both Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins. So, I feel a lot better about the quarterback position if they've got those 2 weapons. I mean, it's speculative, obviously, but
so much.
because they sent off Jacoby Myers. They don't have who's the other one? Nelson Aguilar is gone.
This might be kind of telling.
They got the
because
same type of guys, though.
You tell me those two names, and I just think about adding them both what the hell? Because I don't think it'll be both. Let's say you add them both. How do I feel about the Patriots offense then?
Yeah. But they replaced them.
I think it's flatlined now. I think it's got a pulse with that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they replaced them with
I guess
the same
I don't
type
believe
of guys
in Mac Jones.
They brought in Juju. Juju's the same guy as Jacoby Myers. It's the same type of wide receiver. They might as well be the same.
And they upgraded tight ends, too, because they brought in Gesicki from the Dolphins. So they got a tight end for him.
They still have Hunter Henry, too. So they have a couple tight end threats. Hunter Henry's old, but Hunter Henry can still find the end zone. He's good in the red zone. There was multiple times last year where he made some good plays in the red zone. He's getting old. He can't stay healthy. He's got concussion issues, too. I mean,
it's nice talking about the Patriots the same way we talk about the Raiders.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, they're bad, man. Like, they're going to compete. Like, they're not going to be at the bottom just because of Belichick. Belichick's going to find a way, just like Mike Tomlin does. Belichick's going to find a way to win a game or three, that they have no business winning. They turn it into some weird dogfight with a team that has no business dogfight.
They get 2 combined defensive and special teams touchdowns.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. They'll do it the Patriot way, as they say. You know what I mean? So
the Patriot way, right to third place.
Yeah, well, third place would be a huge victory.
It would. It would
beat out one of those 3 teams because the other 3 teams are loaded. But I think
we're talking about the loaded Jets, by the way. The loaded Jets.
I know it's crazy, but they are loaded.
I think the Dolphins are coming last in the division. I think the Patriots are going to get
Dolphins.
Third.
The Dolphins.
I just think it's going to. I'm riding on the injury, not because I want it to happen, but something like that can break the constitution of somebody.
It's true. You lose your quarterback, you lose your team.
I think even with an injury, I still think they win more games than the Patriots.
I'm not confident about the pick.
Hey, listen. You know the backup quarterback in Miami is now, right?
No.
Mike White.
Oh, Mike White. Yeah. Hey, Mike White's capable. You know what I'm saying, man?
You worried about Mike White throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? I'm not.
No. He found Garrett Wilson just fine.
I feel real good about that. I feel a lot better about taking those receivers now. Nah, but we're not there yet. Enough. We're not there yet. We're the Patriots.
We're not there yet. Let's
who do we want? Who do you guys want on your roster on the Patriots?
Ramondre, clearly.
That's not named Ramondre.
Okay, not Ramondre. I would take Juju in the 9th round.
I would agree with that, but probably nobody else.
Yeah.
They did add James Robinson, but it's the Patriots backfield, so they did cut him.
He's gone. He's out. Yeah, he's not healthy.
Turns out they don't have James Robinson, everybody.
This is the name. This will be the sleeper pick on the Patriots. That could be one of these guys that you draft out of the middle of nowhere. It's Pierre Strong. Pierre Strong is the bruiser, big back. He could get goal line work. He could take a little bit away from Ramondre. That's the guy, as long as they don't add anybody else. I think, honestly, what's going to happen is the Patriots are going to add, because you have Ramondre. He's a good runner between the tackles already. So I don't think Ezekiel Elliott's the fit. They have guys like that. They have Pierre Strong, they have Ramondre. I think what they need is Kareem Hunt. They need a guy to come in on 3rd down that's electric, right? You have Ramondre handle the goal line work, handle 1st and 2nd down, and then you bring in Kareem Hunt on 3rd down. And do
like a Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, you could do Dalvin too, but you can get Kareem Hunt for way less, which is the Belichick way, So that's what I could see happening.
That is the Belichick way.
Yeah, and it's also the Belichick way to take a player with a shady past, a la Kareem Hunt, and then turn him into
He kicked one person in a hotel hallway, okay?
Yeah, one woman.
One woman.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video?
I
did see the video. Did she have
his little fucked?
A little bit? Yes, but hey.
It didn't look as bad as the Ray Rice one, but it still looked pretty bad.
It didn't even look as bad as the Joe Mixon one.
He should have never hit her. Should never been there. Should never been involved with it. She was getting very aggressive to him, extremely so, but should not have done that. I mean, there's no excuse.
Can't do it when you're worth millions of dollars.
Yeah, and when people have phones, when it's 1960, hey man.
Yeah. But when you're Kareem Hunt in a hotel hallway.
You guys saying it's okay to just fucking kick a chick in the chest if it was the 70s? Because
there's no film.
Yeah.
Okay. Noted.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
How do you think we got Mad Men? Okay, it is beautiful.
That's right.
It's the backwards ass thinking.
So that's the running backs. If Ramondre goes down, Pierre Strong's going to be a waiver wire darling. If you already got him sitting on your bench, he could. He's a big enough back where if they don't sign somebody else and Ramondre were to get hurt, Pierre Strong could be like the Samaj P. Ryan of this year or something. You know what I mean? The guy who just stumbles into the opportunity because he's the guy that's there and he's a big enough back to handle it. And they're going to give him the ball 15 times and you might be able to get him for free.
All that disappears if they sign a running back.
Yeah, 100%. But if not, then they've already been saying that Pierre Strong's going to be the guy to back up Ramondre. He's going to get 5 to 10 carries a game, probably just be in the backup.
So it looks like we got a Ramondre and a handcuff to Ramondre for all the fantasy relevance of that team.
I mean, it might feel that way, but how many years do you go into that Belichick offense where the backfield is almost untouchable by week 6 or 7? Or completely.
Yeah, because there's so many guys involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's team-based. They'll run their running back into the A-gap until he can't run. And you got to replace him with somebody.
And even and here's the other thing. Why was Ramondre so amazing last year? Because Damian Harris got hurt. Before Damian Harris went down, Ramondre was not doing what Ramondre was doing. So
and it was volume at all, because he seemed to do the same thing with a full carry list that he was doing on a half carry list. He was explosive all the time, but
and they don't shy away from going with the hot hand once it shows.
And they paid nothing for it. Like, his draft capital is so low. Ramondre was not a high draft pick. So they'll burn him out like, I don't know. Think of any analogy. I don't got a good one right now. But anyway. Sure. Yeah. So the receivers, Juju in the 9th round, Devontae Parker in like the 2nd to last round, and then end of story. You know who the sleeper is? Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton was a rookie last year. He's been getting a lot of hype.
Patrick's been just making up sounds for names for
watching too long. Skits.
Too long. You know why
Tyquan Thornton, man. Here, let me say about Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton got on the field at the end of last year. He made a little bit of a splash. He's been getting a lot of hype in the OTAs. He's getting a lot of hype in the offseason. He could come in and be the number 2 on the team. He's a big-bodied wide receiver. He's good in the red zone. He had a good –
Is he fantasy relevant at all? Or do you think he'll just help the team?
I think he needs injuries. Or he needs Mac Jones to play out of his mind, which I don't think either of those – I mean, you can't predict injury when you're drafting players. Not necessarily, right? Mm-hmm. You can bake it into certain players who have been injured constantly. Like you can think about that.
Few and far between.
Yeah. But you can't, you don't really want to be going into the season and saying, okay, I'm going to draft the handcuff to this running back super highly because I think that guy's going to get hurt. Well,
yeah, we just don't have enough roster depth to do something like that.
Yeah.
No.
So
you got to have a 30-man roster to have those kind of things.
Yeah. How many wins do we think Patriots come away with? We think they're
7, and whatever is the difference. Yeah, I think that's where they're at. I think 7's where they're at.
Yeah, 7 maybe 8. I think, but
they've been beating people in their division for so long that I almost want to start at 6 and go from there. But God, they might go over in that division.
They really might. Yeah,
they might win 5 games.
Well, because
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna say, think about late in the season though. They have some nasty weather in that stadium that can balance it out. You know what I mean? The odds of them going winless in the division with Belichick would low.
They got some players on defense too. They might be able to stumble their way into some wins, like you're saying.
Who do they got on defense now?
Judon. They lost Devon McCourty. He retired.
They got Miles Judon, who was one of the sack leaders last year. He was up there. He played great last year.
So
it's getting old, though. It's getting a little old. They got a few other young guys, I think. I mean, I don't think they have – I can't think of any big-name player they have in their secondary right now.
The fuck was that?
You know? So, yeah, I mean, I think it's clear that they're the worst team in the division. Who's number 3, though? This is the hot question.
This is the hot question.
Who is number 3? Because I think we all know who number 1 is, right?
It's got to be Buffalo.
It's got to be Buffalo.
Got to be Buffalo. So now,
who do we think?
Does it got to be Buffalo?
I mean, it might not end up being Buffalo, but if you're voting today, it's got to be Buffalo.
Well, no, that's true. You got Aaron Rodgers, man.
You're right.
One of the greatest to ever do it.
We haven't seen the Jets be like a team relevant since Mark Sanchez.
I know, but they were also a piece away, and that, I mean, arguably, and that piece.
That piece had to be as big as Aaron Rodgers. I hear you. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
we'll get to that, but we can agree that that's probably the 1-2. So, like, Dolphins for me.
No, because the Dolphins almost got it from Buffalo last year.
I think they were the shiny object, and they're going to fade away. That's what I think. I think Dolphins easy 3 pick for me, maybe even 4.
I think the Dolphins were, we don't know if reality is yet. Is Tua just an injury machine now? Because if he is, then okay, what you're saying. But if he never got that concussion last year, like Miami might have won that division.
Yeah,
they were so spectacular.
I also think you have 2 phenomenally, but also like diametrically opposed coaches for those 2 teams. You have Mike McDaniel, who's an offensive genius. And then you have Robert Saleh, who's
he's a little nerd.
You know what I mean? Robert Saleh is a great defensive coach.
Yes, he
is. Amazing defensive coach. Yeah. The way he motivates guys, the way he coaches his defense, the attitude that he brings to the football team. And that's exactly what Mike McDaniel does for the offense. Like the swagger that they play with, the creativeness that they play with, you know, the guns blazing attitude that they play with on offense. Like, it's fun. It's going to be a fun division.
It's like the Miami Hurricanes from the late 80s, early 90s that, we're dickheads, but, like, we're winning, so we can get away with it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, you win, everybody forgets everything else. But, you know.
Well, I didn't realize until I was reading today that they added Jalen Ramsey to the defense in Miami.
The Dolphins did, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they're going to have Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
They got rid of Byron Jones, but he didn't really play last year anyway much.
He's old.
Injured most of it.
He had a great run, but he got old.
Mm-hmm.
They have one safety. What's the name of their safety? They have a safety that's very athletic too. And he played real well last year. I don't remember. They have a few pieces up front too. They were a super blitz happy defense last year because they could do it again this year because when you could play press man on the outside with 2 big physical corners like Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard, you could blitz all day because they can press. Those guys can press anybody on the line. There's not I mean, you know, Jalen Ramsey can press anybody. It's so Xavier Howard. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But, you know, for the offense, I think Tua is going to get drafted too high. That's what I think. Because Tua was the QB7 last year. Everybody thinks like Tua in Miami, amazing year, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle going nuts all year long, right? He was the QB7.
Well, that's because he missed a bunch of time. Are you doing a QB7 on just the weeks he played?
I think that's on a points per game basis though.
Because didn't he put up 50
I would need to
points
see
that 1 week? Like the fact that he was number 7 missing that amount of time, I think is actually a positive.
Yeah, I would need to see that too because
I'm pretty sure it's on a points per game basis though. Like, I think so. Like
that wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense to what I was watching last year.
Well, let's think about it. Mahomes, Allen, Hurts. Those are 3 that are definitely ahead, right?
I don't know if they're definitely ahead of him if it's on a per game basis because those few games that he did play full time in, no man, he was putting up stupid numbers.
I know he was, but I still think he doesn't run the ball. And then you have he doesn't run the ball.
I've got his numbers here, and they're not as sexy as I was remembering them being. He did have a 40.9 point week, but other than that, he got He was between 12 and 18 for about 75% of the weeks.
They decimated the bad teams.
Are we okay?
Like that's what they did, and that's why we all remember it, because they were putting up games like that, like 40-point weeks.
I mean, they didn't decimate the Ravens. That was a shootout, and that was one of his biggest burgers of the year, week 2, I believe.
I mean, decimate in terms of like the points they're putting up. I don't know, like, what the other teams do.
Okay.
Because we're talking about the fantasy output of like what the offense did to the other team's defense.
Whoever takes Tua this year will take him higher than most people are willing to do because of the injuries, but they're going to take him on the lottery chance that injuries are flukes and he's going to be okay.
Well, this is a good time for some of this. Do you take Tua over Dak?
Yes.
Okay. Cody?
But I'm not probably taking either one of them.
Oh, man.
I don't want either one.
Unless I have to.
I would be okay with Dak, but
I would really like to have Dak, but like I don't know.
Dak's the QB 12
Dak doesn't
right
get
now in ADP.
touchdowns, rushing touchdowns anymore. Like I don't think he's got
neither does Tua though.
A year.
You're right, but
Tua
put up big numbers
outside of this.
Okay, so do I take Tua over Dak? It really depends on where I think the stronger teams are sitting already. Honestly, like where I'm thinking about taking quarterback, that they are similar.
It's going to depend on the draft for it.
Yeah, am I looking at my roster thinking, "Oh, I need some swing"?
So you've got them on even,
or do you have
no? It's for different reasons. They sit even on like a draft thing for me, but like, do I need consistency? Dak Prescott. Do I need explosiveness from this position? Then I take.
But as far as
do you have Tyreek? Or do you have Tyreek on your team? Then you take Tua. Do you have CD on your team? Then you take Dak, right? To get the stack. I mean, right? Like it's a roster construction thing too.
Yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Yes.
But another good one would be like, because I don't think there's any chance in hell I'm taking Tua over Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? He's right around there too. Like Herbert's QB7, Tua's QB9 in the rankings. You know what I mean? So they're gonna go close together. And I don't think they're in any way or shape or form the same strategy.
Yeah, I think there's a shelf drop off there. Definitely a drop off.
Yeah.
So you guys never said who you thought was going to actually be third place in the division.
I'm going to go with Dolphins because of the questions around Tua. I did forget that they have Jalen Ramsey though. That actually changes quite a bit on that defense.
Yeah.
I like Miami more than the Jets here. But like we can treat them as the third team since we've already kind of started breaking down talking about them,
It's razor thin. Like
it is.
It's
on really close
between the two. Yeah.
I think 1, 2, and 3 are going to be close, and then you got the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots are clear last.
Yeah.
And I think the Bills are still kind of above, but the other two are getting closer. So we talked about Tua, injury concerns, whatever. I mean, played well last year in the time that he was available. Hopefully they protect him a little bit better. Hopefully he's practicing like shelling up and not taking massive, like get slammed on my head hits. Like some of those
it almost looked like the back of his helmet had like some weird like cruise missile device put in it, like for the turf, because he'd just like hang out. He's like, man, I don't know. Like if I go down now, they're gonna think I'm a little bitch, so I better get absolutely wrecked on every play.
The one where the Bengals like nose tackle literally spun him around and just spiked him, dude.
It's hard to watch.
That's
I
the one
like
where
violence in football, but like that's a past the line.
That one was rough.
Yeah,
that one was rough. But anyway, I mean, Tyreek Hill should be a top 5 pick in the draft. I mean, to me, it's Chase, Jefferson, CMC. Kelsey might go in there, Hill and Cup. That's the top 6 to me. Maybe you throw Eckler in, depending on how you feel.
Where's Jalen Waddle go?
Jalen Waddle, to me, is back of the second round.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe early third.
Yep. Ooh. That's where he should go. Jalen Waddle should be like wide receiver 11, wide receiver 12.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's what the rankings say too. Right now, Tyreek is wide receiver 4. I think Waddle is wide receiver 11 or
12. Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson or Raheem Mostert?
Oh,
Mostert to start.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Mostert for the first 2 weeks until he blows out his knee.
Now here's the secret. Devon Achane. Let's go, baby.
Oh man.
Let's go, baby. No,
just making up sounds again.
Yes,
you guys don't know.
He's just name dropping at this point.
You guys don't know about Achane, man.
You don't know that?
Look, we're friends on PlayStation. I saw that you had Madden loaded up last night. Okay, I know that you just went through the roster and just what names can I throw that they're gonna not know?
It's best ball. I best ball draft when I'm at work and it's slow. I sit there and I do drafts. I did 2 drafts today. And I've probably done 40 drafts already.
I'm not slinging BMWs.
I'm your boss.
In Central Wisconsin.
He doesn't give a shit. One of my coworkers does crosswords.
Best ball drafts.
There's only one other person at work that really
and that guy's a loser.
I mean, he was
Emerson's best balls. So,
yeah. Show me your best balls. Anyway.
That should be your team name.
That would be a good team name. I think about that. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say, though, real world fantasy advice. Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, they have both been injury prone. They're both a year older. They drafted an explosive, the fastest running back, the fastest 4 I think he did a 4.3. He was a track star, Texas A&M track star, 4.3. He's on Mike McDaniel's offense.
Who's that?
Quick.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, Devon Achane. I don't know how to say his name. It's Achane. Achane. Check it out. Track star. Guy's fast as shit. He has great contact balance. He's going to be the third string guy. He could easily find his way on the field before Jeff Wilson. If Raheem Mostert gets hurt, I'm telling you, the guy could be a league winner. I'm so high on him. I mean, he could do nothing. He's one of those guys that's in a position where he could either do nothing or he could win you the league. That's the type of guy he is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think he's the type of guy.
Do you take him with your last pick if you take him at all?
No. Because you won't get him. Somebody else will take him. Todd will take him. Todd knows all about him too. Somebody will have him on their bench. But you take him because how many bench players did he play with? 6, right? Don't we have
6 or 5 in an IR slot? I can't remember.
We do 15 or 16 rounds, right? So
no, I think we only do 12.
What? No, we do way more.
How many roster spots we got?
There's a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, kicker, and defense. There's 9.
Okay.
And then we have 6 bench.
I think we did 14 rounds maybe last year. Might have been 15.
We have 5 or 6 bench, so 14, 15 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take Devon Achane or whatever around the same place that you're taking Tank Bigsby, Jabal Williams, Kendre Miller, in that realm. And honestly, I would take him way before any of those other guys. I think he is the most electric rookie running back, potentially, other than Bijan. Clearly is the number 1, right? Jahmyr Gibbs is also ahead of him.
But what about Deuce Vaughn?
Deuce Vaughn, I don't think has enough size, man. I think he's going to be good in a Darren Sproles role, but Devon Achane's bigger than him and he's faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's got more promise. I think I took Deuce Vaughn in my dynasty draft because I have Tony Pollard. So I like Deuce Vaughn too. I watched him last year. I think he's a great runner, but I don't think he's going to be big enough in the NFL, to be honest. So we'll see. But anyway, we're getting in the weeds. Remember the name, Achane, man. I'm telling you.
If that is the name, because he doesn't even know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Texas A&M track star, Devon Achane, Miami. He's on an electric offense that knows how to use speed, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why they
got enough of it. My God.
They have all the speed. They might have the fastest running back and the fastest wide receiver on the same team.
Well, they definitely have the fastest wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, the man's named after a fucking fastest animal. So, anyway. Tight end, I don't think there's much to speak about at tight end. I mean, they don't really use the tight end. They run 3 wide. They never threw the ball to Mike Gesicki. So I don't even think it's worthwhile to talk about the tight end in Miami.
I don't even know who the tight end.
Nobody's drafting
Miami
him,
is.
so it doesn't matter.
Nope.
And then I think whoever the third wide receiver is, they did a Chosen Anderson. The guy's name is Chosen Anderson. He was a rookie pick. He might have an outside shot of being the third wide receiver on the field. I don't know, but I don't think
what an awful name. Chosen.
Yeah. Nothing like Sauce Gardner, which is a great segue
into the Jets.
So, anything else to say about the Dolphins? They're going to be a fun team to watch.
For the record, I do believe they're going to be better than the Jets.
Fair enough,
but that's it. That's it. I'm buying Miami. That's why I wore this shirt. Honestly, I'm
allowed to. Tomorrow is we're doing like these fun days or whatever at the dealership. Today was popsicle day, so we all got free popsicles. Monday was free coffee. So that was cool. It was like good coffee though, and like smoothies. Tomorrow's Hawaiian shirt day. I don't think I'm gonna do it though. I got some deliveries because I don't think when you're coming to buy a $70,000 car, you want your guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt, taking it easy that day instead of showing you how to fucking use the car.
Yeah,
maybe, fair. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
It doesn't give off a professional vibe at all.
No, it doesn't.
I still support it though.
But popsicles do.
Yeah, right. They do. Now here's the thing. Nothing like a good bomb pop, man. I'll tell you what, it's a bomb pop. See what I did there? Let me tell you.
Patrick's been boofing bomb pops.
Let me tell you about the Jets, Jets. All right? They're going to be good, man. They're going to be good.
They're probably going to be good.
The big question mark to me, there's two. There's 2 big question marks for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Does Aaron Rodgers fit in hand and glove into that system? He has his offensive coordinator there. Okay? Mm-hmm. There's a relationship there. He has guys, some glue guys, to put the locker room together. He brought them with him. He has a relationship with Allen Lazard. Randall Cobb's never going to see the field. He's just there because Cobb should buy Aaron Rodgers a fucking Bentley every single year because he owes so much money to that man.
He does. Do you think he's just a good hang or what?
Probably. I also think Aaron Rodgers is loyal to the guys that he's loyal to, man. I think that's the type of dude he is. He's got guys that are like his guys. And
he does.
He rides with those guys, you know?
It might just be because he's super anal in particular. They're the only ones that don't piss him off. You know what I mean? He was the guy throwing his wide receivers.
Doesn't seem like a super anal guy, though.
Not since the ayahuasca, but I mean,
even before that, he's a little loose.
When it comes
loose, sure, but also a diva.
When it comes to what he wants done on the football field, though, Jake's right. He's very exact. Like he literally, because do you remember the year that what was his name? Was it Ty Montgomery? I think. Remember Ty Montgomery? I'm pretty sure it was Ty Montgomery. Was on the Packers for a couple of years, right? And he was kind of flirting with. This is about the time that Aaron Jones was like breaking out and like stuff like that. But Ty Montgomery was backing him up, but he was getting on the field every now and then. But then he had a poor run of form. And there was a minute and a half left in the game, in this one particular game. It's a one-score game. Ty Montgomery comes up to field a kickoff.
Okay, I do remember
at the 2-yard line, and he muffs it. And the ball goes out of bounds or something, and they turn the ball over, and they cut to Rodgers' face. And, like, you see his face. You could see it on his face. And then you saw him talking to, like, the coach 30 seconds later. 4 days later, Ty Montgomery's cut from the team. That man went over and got that dude fired. He was like, hey, get this fucking guy out of here. He's done.
That's the last time that happened.
You've got Aaron Rodgers with 90 seconds to go score a touchdown, and this is the whole reason he exists on this team. And now you've taken that moment away from him because you're taking a ball from the 2-yard line on a kickoff.
Yeah, trying to be a hero, you know. They went over and got him fired. That's the type of dude he is, man.
I do. Well, I mean, he does. I mean, so
that was before
what kind of dude is he? He's the right dude, because that's what he's supposed to do. There goes, you get this bozo out of here. He just cost you guys a win.
It's true. And Ty Montgomery never did anything ever again in the NFL. So, I mean, he's just.
He did
that's what I'm saying. I think maybe
he did show us that
running backs
could be number 88 before we knew that, and like that was an interesting time.
That's fair. So anyway, I think Rodgers has all the components around him to succeed. He does. He's got a coach who 100% wants him to be there, who is also a West Coast guy with an East Coast mentality, oddly enough, Robert Saleh. You have Nathaniel Hackett, who was there for his last MVP run. So they have a good relationship. You have all these other guys, like you said, are there. You have one of the most talented young wide receivers in the game. He's not upper echelon yet. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Jamar Chase. He's not
he might be with Aaron Rodgers.
But he fucking might be with a real
be.
Quarterback, because he's real fucking good.
Where do you think he's going to go?
Know it.
Now he's going. So right now there's this like bundle of wide receivers, and they all go together in drafts. It goes CD is on the front end of it. It goes CD, Devontae, interestingly enough.
CD, we talked about this already.
So it goes like this: CD, Devontae, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, and then Jalen Rodham. That's the way it's going. Amon-Ra's like 10 or 11.
In the same realm as Devontae Adams and CD Lamb. No way. No way.
Really?
What I'm saying is I've had teams. I showed you guys one the other day. I've had teams where I've done this in a draft.
Amon-Ra might be the number one receiver this year.
It's possible on volume alone. There's nobody else there on that team.
He might.
There's nobody there.
He
There's
might.
No Jackson. There's nobody.
He might.
No way.
He might. And Jared Goff could do it too.
Yeah, he could.
Can he?
Yeah, he can. Damn right.
We have different opinions on this, I guess.
We're talking about fantasy football, dog. Yeah, he can.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they're all going close together. I mean, I'm not mad at having any of those wide receivers. Honestly, I want Devontae. I haven't drafted Devontae at all. I haven't drafted Devontae once this year. I've done 40 drafts. I haven't drafted him once.
This is what Patrick looks like when he lies, everybody, by the way. Just look at him right now. That's the face that he makes when he lies.
When he's scheming.
I mean, it's not.
It might not look like anything to anybody else, but that's it.
It's feasible that you could start a draft this year with Justin Jefferson. Okay, also because on the back end of that bundle is Chris Olave too. You could start with Justin Jefferson, come back, take Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave.
I'm not high on Chris Olave. Am I the only one?
Derek Carr can throw the ball down the field. Are you kidding me?
I like Derek Carr. I'm talking just as a fantasy, like.
You don't like Chris Olave?
I don't.
I'm out of your mind.
I don't like Chris Olave as a like. I feel like I'm just valuing him less than what everybody else is. Do I say like absolutely not on my team? No, but like based on the way everyone else feels about him, he'll never see my roster. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. He was not going to be on your team. You think he's
not
good, but he's not going to be on your team.
Because everybody likes him more than I do.
Well, and everybody else around him you seem to like more than him. So you're going to draft them first. Right? I mean, the other players that are going around, like, you're going to draft Jalen Waddle before him. You draft Amon-Ra before him.
Definitely going to draft Jalen Waddle before Chris Olave. Absolutely.
Yeah. As would I. I would probably draft all those guys before, too. But anyway, we're all super high on Garrett Wilson. I think it's most likely that Allen Lazard's going to be the number 2, right? Unless Corey Davis has some type of weird resurgence, because he's still there, too.
He might. I think Corey Davis is really talented. Now he's got Aaron Rodgers.
He is. That's true. He's a former number 1. He's a former first-round pick, Corey Davis.
Yeah.
He has the pedigree, so like he could do it. I think here's a weird sleeper pick at tight end, Tyler Conklin.
Yeah,
he's a talented tight end, and Rodgers likes tight ends. And if he can get a little bit of a groove going with
I think Tyler Conklin's easily as talented as Robert Tonyan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And he had
So,
some
same
weeks
guy.
the last couple of years where he was sneaking into fantasy relevance too. That was without Rodgers.
Robert Tunyon had that 1 year he scored 11 touchdowns.
2 years ago, right?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yeah. And then last year, and then he got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. So Conklin could absolutely have like a really good year for someone who you don't expect.
CJ
what do you think a really good year is for him? Tight end 5 would be his ceiling.
For Conklin, tight end 5 would be amazing. Oh my god,
that would be a really good year.
What do you
for
think's
him.
Realistic?
I think
9.
Yeah.
On that team because of target share, 60 catches, 750 yards, and 9 touchdowns is like
9 touchdowns.
It's like that is like the absolute ceiling.
Oh, okay.
That's like if he blows it out of the water. 60 catches, 750 yards, 9 touchdowns.
Okay.
I don't think he's doing anything more than that.
9 touchdowns.
And I don't think he's sniffing that either, honestly. I think you're kind of high if you think he's going to do that. But
I'm kind of high, and I don't think he's going to do that.
No. Let's talk about the running backs, because that's the other big question mark. Is Breece Hall? Is he going to be ready?
That's not a question mark.
Is he going to look the same?
I'm going all in on Breece Hall. If he comes to me in a position where he should not have, I'm going to laugh at everyone in the draft. I'm like, you're all fools.
Yeah, that's a buy low opportunity for sure. What happened to him at the end of last year? Didn't he get injured right before the end of the regular season?
Not right before the end. He got injured about halfway through.
Okay.
And
I thought it was early. I thought it was like week 4.
I think it was closer to that. I think it was like 6 or 7, if I remember right. But I have him on my dynasty team, so I've been following Breece Hall's progress very closely. They keep saying this is what has me worried, because you remember what the Ravens were saying? They were blowing all this positive ass smoke about J.K. Dobbins last year. Yeah, they're all like, he's gonna be ready, he's gonna be ready, he's gonna be ready. And then what did we see? First 8 weeks of the year, J.K. Dobbins wasn't J.K. Dobbins, and that's what I'm worried about with Breece Hall. And I'm worried about that with Javonte Williams too. So I think those are two. Go ahead.
I think Breece Hall is better than everyone that you just compared him to. And so if he's playing, then give me Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall would have been the rookie of the year.
Very well. Who else would have competed? I mean, you had Garrett Wilson, you had Chris Olave.
You had that running back in Seattle.
Yep, Ken Walker.
Thank you. Sorry, Seattle fans.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously
is how I feel about your team.
They drafted a first-round running back, second-round running back, Charbonnet. Pete Carroll, what the fuck was that pick? Second-round running back when you have Ken Walker. Anyway, we're getting in the weeds, but I think you got to be a little bit nervous about it. You got to pay attention if he plays during the preseason, which he probably won't.
No.
But if you see any action out of him at all, and you're intent on drafting him highly, you should be paying attention closely to how he looks.
He's another one of those ones that might blow up in your face, or it might really separate you from a bunch of people.
All right, where do you guys take him?
Right now,
for me, it's like your quarterback thing earlier. It kind of depends on how many running backs I got early on, but assuming I've probably already got 2 starting running backs by the time he's coming around to me. I'm thinking, I think so.
You think you're gonna have 2 starting running backs before Breece Hall?
I don't, man. You better.
That's where I would value him. I would put him outside.
So you're out. You're out on Breece Hall.
I'm not getting him on my team. He's outside of my running back 15, probably for me.
Because then, Jake, if you're doing that, then you better be taking 2 running backs, and then he's your third, and that's your first 3 picks. So that's the only way that's happening.
Because he's going high.
You're damn right he is. 3rd round, probably. 2nd or 3rd round.
I think 2nd round. Breece Hall comes off that board.
He probably will. Yeah.
I'll tell you that now. Because if he comes to me in the 2nd round, he's fucking gone.
Here's a spicy take. I think J.K. Dobbins wildly outscores Breece Hall this year.
I can see it. I don't know about wild.
You could
I don't know about wildly.
I think he does, because I don't think Brees could be healthy.
With that take. I disagree with that take.
I mean, history would tend to side with me on taking running backs that are coming off.
History would not decide. No, history would not.
Absolutely, it would.
No.
They coming off of significant
just
injuries.
the phrase that history would side with you on about anything is flat disagreement.
It absolutely would. He tore his ACL and his meniscus.
And his LCL.
Yeah.
Oh, Dobbins did. I mean.
Well, yeah, Dobbins did. But what I'm saying is, like, Dobbins is a good comparison. Javonte Williams and Dobbins' injury are actually more similar than Dobbins and Brees Hall. Brees Hall only tore one ligament and injured his meniscus. The other two tore multiple ligaments in their knees.
Dobbins tore his ACL, his LCL, his meniscus, and his hamstring.
Javonte Williams did basically that too. He tore all three, and then I don't know about his hamstring. But
what about Brees Hall? None of those.
Brees Hall did ACL and meniscus.
Yeah. And so your comp is to compare him to the less talented, way more injured J.K. Dobbins.
But history.
J.K. Dobbins only been injured once.
Right.
Anyway,
okay.
All I'm trying to say is I think J.K. Dobbins is in an offense this year that is going to go gangbusters with time.
So you're taking J.K. Dobbins in the first two rounds?
No. I'm going to not take.
Because you just said you'd take Brees Hall.
No. I would take Brees Hall in the fourth round.
Okay.
But I'm not going to get him.
Where do you take J.K. Dobbins?
J.K. Dobbins, also fourth round. J.K. Dobbins is running back 18 right now.
I was getting blown up for saying I'd take Brees Hall in the fourth round, but you feel the same way.
Because he won't exist in the fourth round.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, got it.
I mean, there's I would rather have Aaron Jones actually more than both of them, I think.
I would rather have Aaron Jones. We're really surprised by that.
No, that's not.
I love Tony Pollard.
I actually think Aaron Jones, because here's the thing. Aaron Jones is going to get drafted lower than he should this year.
You think he's a better value for his ADP?
Yes. Because Aaron Jones is going to get drafted. Aaron Jones will be drafted as running back 17. That's too low. It's Aaron Jones. He's better than running back 17, man. He should be 13, probably.
Is he with Jordan Love at quarterback?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter though. Jordan Love, out of all of like the quarterbacks that you're like, man, okay, so Jordan Love or Kenny Pickett? Jordan Love. Jordan Love or fucking Desmond Ritter?
Look at some assumptions here.
I'm like, when do we get a chance?
You're going to take Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, you're asking me, or is this rhetorical?
I'm taking Kenny Pickett over Jordan Love.
You're hilarious.
There, said it.
That's funny. Anyway, I think Jordan Love's going to surprise all you folks. Anyway,
we lost him. We lost him.
So what I'm saying is, let's wrap it up with the Jets here. The backups is what you want to pay attention to Brees Hall too. You need to be aware of it. You got Michael Carter is going to be healthy back from his injury, but he's not really a 3-down back. Okay, he's more of a receiving back. That's the way they've been using him. They drafted Israel Abanikanda in like the third or fourth round. The Jets did. He's
unbelievable. You're still getting away with this name thing.
And then you got Zonovan Knight also. Those are the guys. Remember Zonovan Knight? Last year had some weeks where he was legit. Had a couple 100-yard games last year, Zonovan Knight.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I don't know, man. But if Brees Hall's not healthy, one of those guys is going to be relevant because it's going to be a good offense. So you're going to want him.
Brees Hall is not getting past me in a third round.
And you know what? Chance. I'll let that time bomb blow.
No chance.
And my dynasty team, to be fair. But I got depth in my dynasty team, baby. What are you going to have? We don't know. I got Tony Ballard, CMC, and Cam Akers. So Brees Hall can sit on my bench for a minute. But anyway, so what if anything is there left to say about the Jets? Their defense is going to be great too.
Their defense is going to be great, and we do draft defenses. So You know,
that should be a highly taken defense.
Probably top 5.
Well, let's think about it. Eagles, probably Eagles and San Fran, 1 and 2,
probably. I'm going Niners before Eagles, but
Dallas.
yeah, Dallas is up there.
Put Dallas in there too because Dallas scores points.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. And they got Stephon Gilmore now.
It's stupid.
And
I think Miami will be a fun defense to take around 8 or 9 off the board because I think they'll score points too. They blitz a lot and they got 2 great cornerbacks. They'll get turnovers. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Jets should be under consideration as a top 5 defense. I mean, I'm running through them all in my head right now. Well, the Bills, you got to put the Bills in there too. The Bills' defense is getting older though.
They lost that middle linebacker too just recently.
Tremaine, yeah.
Yeah, their safeties are getting old.
Yeah, Poyer and Micah Hyde.
Yeah, but they get creative, man. They brought in Von Miller, and everybody thought they were overpaying him. So maybe they got something in the works. I'm not.
Maybe they do.
I'm not taking them out of the top just yet. Do I see it?
Trying to think who else. I think the Lions could be a surprising defense this year.
Really? They were so bad last year.
I think they could be surprising. Defense changes quick in the NFL.
Play with a lot of heart.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
You know they do.
I've said that so many times.
Heart of a lion, you know? Jesus Christ.
You know what I think is going to be real good?
Richard the Lionhearted?
Some made-up name.
Yeah, anyway, so enough about the Jets.
No,
let's move on to the rating.
One last note on the Jets that I don't think we touched on, unless it was while I was stepping away, is they added Mecole Hardman. Do you think?
Have not talked about it. Have not talked about it.
We didn't talk about him. I don't think he's going to be worth drafting.
Neither do I.
You know,
you don't think so? He's got that speed. What's his?
He might be there.
He does have that speed, but like that didn't matter with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You didn't draft him there either. You know what I mean?
A lot more options in that offense. You had Travis Kelce in that offense. You know,
a lot of options in this offense.
Draw a lot of. Yeah, but not the same. I don't think it's the same. I mean, maybe Garrett Wilson, but other than that, it's not the same quality.
Allen Lazard is going to demand way more targets than Mecole Hardman.
I'm not
possibly, but the one that Hardman might be getting might be the 80-yard bomb or the post route.
It's true, but when are you going to know when to do that? You never. You never know when to play that guy. You know what I mean? That's the problem with guys like that.
The glass.
Yeah, it does. If you've got the depth for it, which it's hard to argue depth for Mecole Hardman, but if you do, and he's sitting there, and you're playing someone you know is going to put, or like on Thursday they had someone like a duo quarterback receiver put up stupid numbers. Okay, so I need a guy who can catch an 80-yard post. Fine.
So
he could be
territory.
But that's such a specific scenario, you know.
What he could be if there's injuries is he could become like MVS was with Rodgers. Remember how MVS had some relevance because he'd catch like 4 passes a game, but 2 of them were going to be like 30-yard bombs. Like, you know.
So he's going to be irrelevant until bye week start, and then he'll probably be a fill-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not interested in Mecole Hardman.
Probably going undrafted.
His time is coming fast to me.
All right, well, that's it then.
Let's talk about the reigning, defending Mafia from the shittiest city in New York, the one and the only Buffalo Bills. They're going to be great
breakers themselves.
They're going to be great.
Yeah, they're Josh Allen. As long as you got Josh Allen, you're going to be towards the top.
Josh Allen, Steph Diggs, baby.
He's so good.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Even if Steph Diggs gets pissed off sometimes, doesn't show up to camp, doesn't matter.
You don't need
so
a
he's a little
running
flaky.
back
Who cares?
when you have Josh Allen. You don't need a quality running back.
You mean that your star wide receiver is a little bit of a diva? Good. Yeah. I want him to be. He needs that attitude. That's what star wide receivers do.
They can't all be
That's
Jerry
called
Rice.
Swagger.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs has it for days, too.
Mm-hmm.
That man's got a lot of swagger for being a small guy.
Or Riz, I think is the new term for it. The man's got some Riz.
The more interesting question is, who's going to be the number 2? Because I think Gabe Davis left the door gaping wide open because he was so inconsistent last year.
Yeah.
And I think Khalil Shakir, the interesting rookie that came in and made a splash a few times last year,
Dude,
as a second year.
That's where DeAndre Hopkins should be going.
Oh my god, they're insane.
Yeah, DeAndre.
I don't think they got the money though.
Shut the fuck up. That would we just don't play at that point.
You gotta
that would be stupid.
Gotta play the game. Yeah,
play with heart too.
Why we play the game?
I don't know.
That's where DeAndre Hopkins should go.
I mean, the top three options there though are because Isaiah McKenzie went to Indy, so he's gone. So the top three, I think, are Khalil Shakir, Gabe Davis, and Steph Diggs. And I think Khalil Shakir showed enough last year where if Gabe Davis isn't playing well, Shakir could take the number 2 option spot, which would be extremely valuable in that.
I don't think Shakir is going to take that spot from Gabe Davis. I hear what you're saying as far as production, but like as athletes, as the size of men that they are, I don't think they're taking Gabe Davis off the field for Shakir.
It doesn't always matter though, because if Gabe Davis can't run routes, like Gabe Davis is not a great route runner. He's just really big and he's fast.
Yeah, and they love that because Stephon Diggs does all the route running.
I mean, Stephon Diggs is some of the greatest route running you've ever seen in your life. That man is ridiculous.
That dude is clean.
So ridiculous.
Crispy.
He might have the best routes. I mean, it's between him and JJ. Like in terms of how clean the routes look when they break out of a cut. Like when Stephon Diggs runs off a wide receiver and breaks down, there's acres of space. Like it's ridiculous.
All we know is that Minnesota can draft some fucking wide receivers.
Damn right they can. Jeez,
man.
I think they
really can
too. They can. Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson. I mean, come on, man.
Chris Carter.
The Eagles drafted him.
Yeah, you're right.
But still, Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson alone. That's 2
Hall of Famers. What we
Justin
know
Jefferson already is a Hall of Famer.
Ooh, I was going to say you put him in the Hall of Fame already. Okay.
I mean, if you're going to pick someone in their first 3 years to do it,
come on, man.
But should you pick somebody in the first 3 years?
If you're ever going to do that, Justin Jefferson.
I mean, the man could fall off. The man could fall off from his level and be average compared to where he has been, and still be like a top 24 wide receiver the rest of his career. That's how good he is.
He's so good.
He's damn good.
So,
but he would have to do something as drastic as Andrew Luck to not get in the Hall of Fame at this point. I feel like, honestly,
it's true.
He's so good,
so fucking good. But you know what team he's not on is the Bills. So let's talk about their tight ends because they took the best tight end in this class, and I don't think it's going to matter this year.
Nope.
I think if you don't,
rookie tight ends aren't a thing.
The only place it matters is this: if you're the last team or two to take a tight end, you might look at Dalton Kincaid or maybe Chigo Conquo out of Tennessee, or maybe Pat Freiermuth, right? If you're one of the last few to take tight ends, those guys are in the mix. Maybe you take Kincaid on the hype because they loved it so much. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
You know? Maybe he's the one. Maybe he does what Kyle Pitts did and has a mediocre season that doesn't really help you that much. Which is one of the greatest tight end seasons of all time for a rookie, which is crazy.
Yeah,
the only other one that was
it just isn't something you should consider.
No, you shouldn't take a rookie tight end almost ever. Kyle Pitts was the one that we all thought was going to do it, and even he couldn't do it. Granted, he has Marcus Mariota and not Josh Allen.
Yeah,
it's a big difference, you know.
That's true.
But if you're the best ever, it doesn't matter, right?
That's fair, but also like look at what Josh Allen did with Dawson Knox. Like there was times where Dawson Knox was like tight end 7, 8, and you know you could use him on your team. Dalton Kincaid could be that, and I think Dalton Kincaid is better than Dawson Knox. You know, so
I don't know.
Yeah, but Dawson Knox is the other one. You know, he's still there too. All that you should know is that with all those weapons around the man, you should be still drafting Josh Allen extremely highly.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their running back depth chart, and like, sure, they got James Cook number 1, and we talked about the Damian Harris, but they got Latavius Murray and Nyheim Hines sitting back there too. Not that there's like a whole lot of talent there left over, but in that kind of scheme, there's a lot of potential for some people to. It's going to be crowded.
You know why I think they brought in Damian Harris? I think they don't want Josh Allen running the ball at the goal line so much anymore.
That'd be a good call, especially since like he was like bobbling snaps and stuff too.
Well, every year he gets a little bit older. One of these times he's gonna get hurt doing shit like that.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So you might as well head it off before it happens, which I think is a smart move for the team, especially when you have a good goal line back like Damien Harris. If Damien Harris is good at one thing, it's good at scoring touchdowns in the red zone. He's very good at that. He did that for the Patriots very well when he was healthy.
I don't see them taking the ball out of Josh Allen's hands inside the red zone.
If you're going to run the ball inside the 5, you're going to give it to Damien Harris. That's what I think.
I mean, if we're up by 18 in the third quarter in like week 6, yeah, you're right. But man, anytime it matters, Josh Allen has that ball.
Also, I think I like James Cook. If I could get James Cook 7 to 9, round 7 to 9, somewhere in there, running back like 23 to 25 off the board.
Yeah,
all about it, baby.
Yeah,
he had like one of the top 5 breakaway run rates, which is a good metric for like explosivity for a running back. Like his ability to make big gashing runs was like quietly on the same par as like Ken Walker's, which is kind of crazy.
Really?
It's weird to think about.
Yeah, they were close. I think Ken Walker was ahead of him still, but James Cook was regularly busting off 10-yard runs and more when he was on the field. So
regularly busting.
Also, he's got it in the family, brother to Devon.
Yeah, so. That's true. How high do you think Josh Allen goes?
Anybody could take. I don't think you can be mad at anybody for taking as the first QB off the board either Mahomes, Hurts, or Allen.
I feel like Mahomes has to be 3 of those
because he doesn't run.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah,
and he does run, but he doesn't run in the end zone.
He doesn't run like those do. He doesn't score touchdowns like those.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't run in the end zone.
But are you guys taking any of those 3 guys in the first round?
Not the first round.
Even with the 112?
No, not in this podcast.
Back of the
not
second
in this podcast.
Earliest.
This podcast is for champion-minded people. Okay.
Yeah, you don't take a quarterback in the first round. God,
you don't do it.
But somebody will, right?
Somebody.
I don't know.
Somebody might.
We're getting one quarterback in the first round. We always have. I think we have every year. I'm kind of pulling that out of my ass, but
I don't think we have had one quarterback every year.
We get a lot of them in the second round. We'll get a Mahomes in the second round. We'll get a Dave. I think took Mahomes in the second round last year.
I know, no, first round last year, unless it was like a first pick of the second round turnaround. Could have been either one.
Yeah,
that was 2 years ago because it was Tyreek and Mahomes that he took back to back at the end of the 12th.
Yep. Yeah. And then I think last year was just like the 9th pick or something. Maybe
you should. I mean,
I'm trying
none
to
of those guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Nope, mine's irrelevant. Go ahead.
None of those guys should go. I mean, at the earliest, and even. I mean, I would consider it. This is where I would consider it. I would consider it if I took, if I had AJ Brown. Let's say AJ Brown was my first pick off the board, and I didn't like my options when it comes to, because if you're taking AJ Brown, you're like number 8. You're pick number 8, probably. That's about where AJ Brown's going. It's like you have position number 8. When it comes back around to you again, if Jalen Hurts is sitting there, I could see it because of that stack together.
Yeah,
there's a lot of upside with that stack.
I hear you.
And you can piece it together after that. I'd consider that. I would do the same thing with Mahomes and Kelsey if I could, potentially. But again, there's too many other guys I like. I would just
the prospect of not having a running back or a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds terrifies me.
Well, we still play half-point PPR, and running back touchdowns are still heavily weighted in that type of format. I mean, you need running backs to score touchdowns, which are the top 10.
I'm just thinking about if you're doing that, if you're getting Mahomes and Kelsey, you're probably drafting somewhere middle to late, and you're turning around and getting Mahomes. Think of the running backs left to you and mid to late.
You get Najee. Najee could be your RB1. I don't know, man.
You know who had
that's who you're hoping to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I really
and that is gross.
And going through this season without like a stud running back to lean on, even one that you feel comfortable with, it makes for a long season.
You know who
season.
had Najee as their number one running back last year?
Really?
Yeah, and she quit.
Yeah.
Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah, well, that's the Steelers last year. Their offensive line is going to be better. And Najee also, let us not forget, Najee had a Liz Frank injury that he was playing through for most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He had a halfway broken foot for most of the season. He's not going to have a halfway broken foot. They're going to have a better offensive line.
A broken foot to a running back doesn't, I don't know. It could
affect Derrick Henry last year. Derrick Henry came back from the fine. He broke his foot the year before that.
Wasn't the same.
They had a terrible team last year. And he still was pretty fucking good. He was still top 10 running back.
Yeah, he was still pretty good.
Yeah.
He was still pretty good.
Not the runaway one, so not
the run. He's not the far and away the number one. That's not the Derrick Henry I remember.
Yeah, that's true. But here's what I want to say though. You could do that. You could do one of those stacks, and you could still end up with Najee Harris and Aaron Jones. I'm okay with that.
Who's your wide receiver one then?
AJ Brown.
No.
If you take Kelsey and Mahomes, okay. So if you take Kelsey and Mahomes, what I would do then in that scenario, you take Kelsey and Mahomes, you come back, you try to get Najee, or you try to get Aaron Jones. Okay, if that doesn't work, then your fallback is J.K. Dobbins or Cam Akers. And I hear you. Those are poor man RB1.
Yeah.
Could they do it for you?
This is looking like Trish's team.
If I draft Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey, I'm trading at least one of them.
I don't know, man.
I hear you. I
think there's a zero RB strategy that can be played out properly if done.
You should do that. You should do that this year. And then
zero RB, by the way,
and show us how to do it.
I mean, I traded away Josh Allen and Christian McCaffrey last year, so I feel like I've already kind of showed you how to do it.
No. I'm talking to Patrick. I want Patrick to run a zero RB strategy in our draft this year and show everybody how it's done. Because even you can draft zero running backs and claw your way back into fourth place.
Now, check it out. What's going to happen is I'm going to line up across from you with my fantasy team, and I'm going to be running out there with this. I'm going to be running out there with CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take J.K. Dobbins and Cam Akers, and I'm going to line that up against him. See how that feels.
Great. You're going to score 102 points, feel real good, and get beat by 30.
102-point week average. I'm all about that, baby. Let's go.
And when you line up against me, you're going to get beat by 30. Because I have my best fantasy weeks against you every
Apparently.
time.
That's fucking ridiculous. And then the next week score 10.
Your fantasy record straight up.
Hey, remember when
you
scored 40 points
gross.
like the week after that?
I do. I remember that. It
I don't know. All I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is, if you wanted to go wide receiver heavy at the front of the draft, I think there are running backs that you could fill into those positions that could carry your team. Now, if you have to draft accordingly. You have to take the big dogs up top that are going to carry you at the wide receiver position, so you don't have to draft guys in the middle round that you're going to be using every week, right? You have to have 3 or 4 stud wide receivers and a quarterback, and then come back at it and take like 4 or 5 running backs in like 6 through 10, right? And you got to, it takes a little bit of luck, but there's statistically, you're looking at the position where the top guys, the top 12 running backs get injured at a far higher rate than the top 12 wide receivers. So if you're using math and you're looking at who scores more points at the top 12, this is why people do this strategy at drafts. It's based on math. The top 12 wide receivers score 20 points a week on average more consistently than the top 12 running backs do. They also get injured far less than the top 12 running backs do. Historically, there's all kind of numbers to show it. That's why people do it. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Wild card, baby. You don't know what's going to happen.
I feel like it's less. You say more points, but I'm wondering what that week-to-week arc looks like. You know what I mean? Because I imagine the wide receivers that are up in that realm are like bam, 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 bam. Maybe the average is higher, but the running back is more like it's an anchor to your team.
If you want to, yeah, I hear you. If you want to go and read about it and see the charts that I'm talking about, go to Fantasy Pros. It's free. Look up zero RB strategy. They'll show you the charts. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It'll show you, and I don't even know if I said them all correctly. I paraphrased it roughly accurately, but the glaring statistic to me was the number of times that the top wide receivers score 20 points a week versus the number of times that the top 12 running backs at the beginning of the year, like their draft positions, score that amount of points per game consistently throughout the year. It's like a glaring difference. And so to me, if I'm going to go one or the other, it's either I'm going to go one big-time anchor running back, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, and then just go heavy into wide receivers. Or I'm going to go none of them, go crazy wide receiver, try to get Mark Andrews or Kelsey, get one of the quarterbacks, and then try to fill in with a cadre of like running back by committee and hope that I find the Isaiah Pacheco or like the Rashad White or like you hope that you get out of the 5-6 guys you draft. Yeah, hope that you get that guy, because if you get that guy and then you have all of those other studs, then you win. That's what
essentially using the back half of the fantasy draft for lottery picks. I mean, that's what it always is, right? Like, don't lose up top, and then try to dig out that shiny little stone.
And the math says that the top flight wide receivers are the most reliable ones to draft because they get injured less
risk.
There you
go. If anybody made it to an hour and 15 minutes into our podcast, they got some pretty solid draft advice today.
Yeah,
on top of the divisional breakdown.
That's right. So a little bit of dispute at 2 and 3, but we got the Bills on top. We still think they're a cut above, right? I mean, consensus.
I do. Yeah.
Jets 2 or 3. I'm not going to argue either way. I'm not mad at you if you got the Dolphins second, you got the Jets second. But I think the Pats are clear fourth.
And somehow they're not going to get last in the division still.
Yeah.
They might find their – well, I mean, that division, there's –
the Jets or the Dolphins are going to fall apart. One of the two. And I don't know who it is.
The only reason that I don't think that might happen is because both of those teams actually have good coaches now.
I think
they're not the same, they're not the same teams of old that you can just rely on to have all this talent and then fall apart. Or, you know what I mean? So I think, if you're a betting man, I'm definitely betting on the Pats to get last. I think that's most likely what's going to happen.
I think it's the best odds. My heart's telling me that it's the Dolphins coming in last, but I think if I was a betting man, I'd be putting the money on the Patriots.
I want to somehow turn you into a betting man about this Dolphins thing, because we're at odds about that. I believe in Miami. Maybe it's just their sweet fucking colors.
They do look good, I tell you.
They do look good.
They also have one of the coolest stadiums in the country now too.
It needs to be.
So neat.
Who has one of the coolest stadiums?
The Dolphins. Stadium, Hard Rock.
It's awful.
Yeah, it needs to be demolished.
It's terrible. The last time I was there, they were renovating it, and all they were doing was adding a big screen to one of the corners. It's terrible.
It's bad.
You don't like the Hard Rock Stadium?
No.
It doesn't stand up compared to its modern comps, man.
A piece of shit.
I mean, they're to be fair, the Raiders Stadium is probably the coolest one right now. The one on the desert.
Have you been to the Dolphins Stadium in real life?
I haven't, but I see it all the time because they race the Formula One. Miami Grand Prix is raced there. So I know.
It's a dump, dude.
I mean, they make it look good in the aerials then, because it always looks good to me.
Yeah, I think it's Miami that looks good. But hey, so you
That
talking about
nice.
the Vegas stadium being one of the coolest ones. I am going to be in Vegas when the Packers are in Vegas.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
Are you gonna watch it or are you gonna go to the game?
I want to like watch the game in a periphery sort of way. Like I kind of want to be at the stadium, but I kind of want to have my Sunday football experience of having all the things.
Well then just go down to a bar that's right outside the stadium. Because
it's right next to the strip and like you know what I'm saying? Like I want to experience the NFL day around that stadium and like get up all in the hype and shit. Yeah. But like, do I really want to sit in the stadium and watch that game live? I'm like, I'd rather be at a bar and like watch it when I'm watching everything else. I don't know what time a day. It's true. I mean, I'm going to Vegas to lose thousands of dollars. So like, if I want to add that into my budget, then I'll add that into my. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be stupid because I love gambling. But
what's unfortunate for me,
I'm just excited that there's gonna be a game in town during the week that I'm gonna be there because I think that's going to be fun as shit.
Are you going there to like gamble and do that primarily? Is that like you're just going there to have some fun and do stuff like that?
Yeah.
Gotcha. That sounds fun.
It's gonna be.
I've been to Vegas in a while. I've been to Vegas.
I really enjoy
it. Got married.
I really enjoy it. But as soon as I saw that there was like a date that I was going to be there, I went right to the fucking Raiders schedule. I'm like, is there going to be a game while I'm in town? Because when I saw that, I'm like, when they were moving to Vegas, I was like, I want to experience an NFL Sunday in that environment because I think it'll be fucking cool. And I was excited to see that. I also want to be in New Orleans for a game again to kind of experience.
Would have been more fun when Drew Brees was playing and they were actually good.
Yeah, but like the one time I've been in that city, like to see like the amount of support they get on Bourbon Street, and this was in fucking May that I was there. I'm like, I want to be there when a game is on. Just experience what that area is there.
You know what city I would not want to be in when there's a game on? Philadelphia.
Same.
I want to do it once. I want to do it once.
I mean, you have to. You got it once, right? I'm sure it's an experience.
I don't want to do it even one time.
I want to wear a star into that fucking stadium and just pray that we don't lose.
You might don't do it, man. I like you too much, man. You're gonna get stabbed.
I mean, I'm not getting nosebleed tickets. I'm gonna probably buy something that lets me come in a separate entrance.
Yeah. You can only see that game in a box. It's like, look, I don't have box money.
Coin, dude.
Well, like
I'm gonna get a box with a slidable window on the front, so I can be yelling shit to people outside of my bunker.
You better be sitting next to Jerry Jones if you want to feel safe at that game, dude.
Oh, that would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, okay. Where do I sign up for that?
Yeah, right.
Well, you see, you got to make at least $10 million a year. Now,
I'm on my way.
All right, guys. I got things to do. I got to bounce. This was fun. We did another one. Should we pray? Where are we going next? South, North. North's going to be fun. South has some fun to it, too. Obviously, probably the worst of the four. But
let's save the North for the
last one.
After. Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited about the South.
Let's start with the AFC South. I think it's gonna be garbage. But the Jaguars are
gonna be fun. Jags are gonna be fun. And you know what? I'm interested to see what Houston does with that CJ Stroud fellow.
I think nothing.
Right?
I think nothing.
Yeah, we'll
talk about it.
This is a little appetizer for you folks for next time. Anyway.
And a moose bouche.
We did it. We did the East. We're going down south. I don't have a Southern accent, but and whatever. Champs flexed on the trophy. It is what it is. His name's not on it yet. We're dragging our feet, but it is what it is. So
get on that, will you?
I'll do my best. Anyway, signing off. I gotta go for real. Love you, gentlemen. Cut.
Love you
too.
too.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, boys.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.